Hey everyone, welcome to Face Your Fears with myself, Angie Zuma. I'm Diamond Ambassador, and Cheyenne Weeble, and she is a Diamond Ambassador, and Kevin Weeble, her husband, is a Senior Gold Ambassador, and we are so excited for you to join us today. Thank you for taking your time out. Today we're going to be talking about fear of failure, fear of rejection, and fear of success. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Cheyenne and Kevin, and they're going to lead us in prayer to start our call off right.
Okay, so before we pray real quick, I loved what I've been reading Millionaire by Halftime by Presley Swaggerty, and something in here he said that really made me think is it says I believe we are created for success, but we become conditioned for failure. We are conditioned to think that we can't achieve things. We are conditioned to think that our dreams will never come true. We are conditioned to think that it's always someone else who grabs life's brass rings. We don't have to settle. We don't have to give up on our dreams. We don't have to fail. We can achieve. We can win. We can change our lives, and we can grab life's brass rings. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was so true. I think so many times, life conditions us to fail. And so that fear of success, that fear of failure is always in the back of our minds. So
either that or we allow other people to play into that too.
Yes,
and we'll talk about that more. But totally. We let fear overtake us and we just don't believe in ourselves. Mm-hmm. And so let me pray and then we'll jump in. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for today. We're so thankful. If we're able to be on this call today, we're also blessed. I mean, we are so blessed in so many ways, and so many ways we take for granted. And Father, we don't want to do that anymore. We just thank you. Please speak through us this morning. Pray there'll be your words that come out of us, and pray that you will be glorified. Father, we know, there's no doubt in my mind, fear is not of you. Fear is of this world and of the enemy, and help us get past that. Help us just realize that you are a sovereign, loving God who is on our side at all times, is never far away from us. You never leave nor forsake us, and that we have nothing to fear. We truly have nothing to fear. Help us just go out there and live each and every day just confident and joyful and trusting in you, and not letting anything sway us from trusting and having faith in you, Father, because again, fear is not of you, Father, and we just want to live this life exactly how you want us to live it. So Father, we thank you again for this morning and pray that you're glorified. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Oh, Angie, you're muted.
Talking like crazy. I was trying to mute. My son's going to act crazy. So sorry about that. So I was going to start off with fear of rejection. And y'all, this was a big fear of mine when I started, because I tend to always care what other people think. I mean, I'm human, and I really, I'm not really good at constructive criticism. It's something that I'm working on, but I'm really not good with rejection. I really take it personally. My blue personality does not like people rejecting me. So, and I love when I did some research about fear. Did you know that fear of rejection is one of the biggest fears, y'all? People would rather jump off, skydive than be rejected. I mean, it's crazy. When you post on Facebook or reach out to your friends about Plexus, your job is just simply to share the product and the opportunity with them, just to kind of help them see and understand it. When we're reaching out to people, I mean, we're just planting a seed. They're going to have to make a decision to join or try the products on their own, but you will invite them. But if they choose not to join or not to be a part of this, girl, do not let that get in your way. Keep pushing forward. I used to wait tables, and I love this. You know, I used to wait tables, and I was listening to another a network marketing guy, and he was talking about this, and it really made me think. You know, if you have ever waited tables before, you go to the table and you ask them if they want dessert. Now, if they tell you that they don't want dessert and they decline that offer, did you go back to the kitchen and like cry and like the sky is falling and you're ready to quit? No, you didn't. You just moved on. You printed out the check, you gave them the check, and you went to your next table. And you moved on and you offered the next people. You really need to look at this opportunity as a dessert for life. Does everyone want dessert? No, not everyone is going to want dessert. And I know you're thinking, and I have even, I still think that everyone should do this, when the truth is, you know what? Everyone is not going to do this. Some of your very best friends are not going to do it. It doesn't matter how healthy you get, how successful you get. I mean, I still have people that aren't going to do it. It doesn't matter. And it's just like some people are not going to want dessert. You just have to look at it like there's another table that's going to want it. And so you have to show them, you know, you have to just be always willing to offer the opportunity to everyone. The attitude you need to have is just kind of like posturing up. Disassociate yourself from the result. If you disassociate yourself from the fear of being rejected, it really helps you eliminate that fear of rejection. So I was going to talk to you a bit about how you can kind of disassociate yourself from the fear of rejection. So when you're sharing with your prospects, y'all, don't be needy. I mean, people can sense that you're, you know, I know that especially when we're trying to meet goals sometimes, we can get that real big sense of urgency. But I mean, you know, don't, and it's good to have the sense of urgency, but maybe you're sharing your opportunity, letting them know that they are going to see this. It's going to be good for them, but if, you know, letting them know about it, and it's going to be good for them, but if they don't like it, then it kind of makes no difference to you either way. And I don't mean that in an insensitive way, but just not being like it's the end of the world or you're going to be upset with them if they decide not to go with it or not to proceed. You know, like I said, you are just sharing. You are just planting seeds. If you message someone and they don't respond back, but you see that they have looked at that on Facebook, y'all, that is the worst thing that we can do in our head automatically. And I even do it too. I'm like, she looked at that message 3 days ago and she is still not responding to me. And some people really take it to heart, y'all. Do not let that discourage you. I mean, I keep following up with people until they flat out tell me no. And even if they tell me no, I probably might follow up with them again when a new product comes out or something like that. It's just so important to know that a no does not always mean no. Sometimes it means not right now. Sometimes they have to get to a breaking point in their life, or like, you know, something has to happen in order for them to decide to say yes. So stop being afraid of people saying no, and they are going to start saying yes more often. And you know what? I mean, I go for no's. Sometimes I will sit down and I'm like, okay, this week I'm going to go for 20 no's. Because I know that if I can go for 20 no's, people actually responding back to me no's, that means that I'm probably going to get some yeses in between that. So don't get discouraged. Just really look at this as we are sharing something that could possibly help them. if they decide that they don't want to do it, then that's okay. Not everyone's going to want the dessert. Not everyone is going to want this opportunity. And that is okay. And you really need to learn how to just be okay with that. So I'm going to turn it over to Cheyenne and Kevin, and they're going to talk a little bit more about fear of failure.
Can I add something real quick?
Absolutely.
And Angie, I think you're spot on with that. I think one thing, we always take things so personally, just like you were talking about, but they're really not rejecting us. You know, they're rejecting the opportunity, and more often than not, it's because they're not educated enough, and or they are afraid of failure themselves. So it's not like, I think we take it so personally because we're the one that offered it up. We're the one that threw it out there, you know, and we knew that we had to overcome something. And we take, you know, somebody saying no as rejection towards us, or kind of personally, when it's totally not. It's not against us. It's just it's probably something they're dealing with, probably their fear of failure, or just their lack of knowledge about exactly what plexus is. So don't be, just like Angie was saying, don't take it personally, and just realize that it's not a personal attack on us.
Yeah, I agree. So the fear of failure, I think in the beginning of my journey, I honestly didn't know enough to be fearful of failure. I really didn't, because I had a full-time job. This was just my side gig, right? So I didn't have enough knowledge in the beginning to be fearful of failure. Once I became successful, though, I had fear of success, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But I like this quote. It says, "I don't regret the things I've done. I regret the things I didn't do when I had the chance." Y'all, fear of failure started setting in for me after I was successful. And I don't remember who I was telling, but I remember Sonia Dudley and Helen McFadden last year asked me over and over again if I could get on their Monday night calls. Well, Kevin and I had Reengage every single Monday night, but instead of finding a way to do the call for Sonia and Helen, because y'all, that scared me to death. I mean, I look at those two women, I'm like, they are so successful. What if I look like an idiot on their Zoom call? I was so fearful. I never found a way around that. And now I regret not doing it. You know, I think that would have taken me outside of my comfort zone. It would have helped me grow. And I let that fear of failure rule me instead of taking the chance. So now if they asked, I would do it again. And I would make sure that I could do it. Whether I had a class on Monday nights or not, I would make sure that I could do it. But anyways, something that I found whenever I do, struggle with fear of failure, you have to work on building belief. You have to work on building belief in yourself, in the products, in network marketing, and in Plexus. And guys, the best ways to do that, for me, personal development. Like I told you, I'm reading Millionaire by Halftime for the second time. Always reading books, watching YouTube videos, just trying to listen to, a lot of times in the car, I'll turn on a YouTube video, turn it upside down so I can't see it, but I'm listening while I'm driving. I have to build that belief in network marketing or in myself. So I've also done a lot of affirmations. Daily affirmations have been huge for me. I think I told y'all this before, but telling myself, hey, people do want to hear what I have to say. That has helped me so much in talking to other people. And then also talking and sharing with my team. Because I like to look at other people on my team and go, well, they don't need to hear from me. They can hear from so-and-so and so-and-so on my team, or they can go to Sarah Marble's, YouTube page and listen to, from her. But I have to remind myself that I might not say it like other people, but maybe I say it in a way that one person will connect with me and will understand where I'm coming from. Maybe I can connect with that one person. So build belief, guys, in yourself. It may feel weird in the beginning doing affirmations, but if you've never done them, write down just 2 or 3 affirmations and do them every day for a week and see how you feel after that. Really think about something that's fearful for you. Public speaking is very, very scary for me. And so just reminding myself that what I have to say and to share is important. So make sure you're doing those affirmations. Make sure you're reading network marketing books on network marketing that help build your belief. Make sure you're learning about our products. It may take you a long time to learn about all the different ingredients, but just a little at a time. Just learn, learn, learn. Guys, one thing that Leslie Zann always says is mindset trumps skill set every single time. And y'all, that was so freeing for me, because when I started network marketing, I had never been in a network marketing company. I don't think I realized for, honestly, probably the first 3 or 4 months that I was in a network marketing company. Even though I was getting the check, I was building a team, I don't think I realized that's what it was. And so I felt very, even after I made it to Diamond, I felt like I didn't have the skills, but it was my mindset that helped push me back through some of my failures. So make sure that you believe wholeheartedly in yourself, in this company, in the products, and you'll do well. I promise you. Stay away from negative people. Guys, if you have people in your life that every time you talk to them, they're, upset about the back office, or they're upset with, anything in life, it doesn't even have to be about Plexus. Stay away from those people. You want to be around people that are going to encourage you, that are going to lift you up, that are going to pray for you, that are going to root you on and be there with you. You want those people that are not going to be excited when you fail. Okay, a lot of so-called friends, they want to see us fail, right? They may not set out and think, oh, I want to see her fail, but they get a little bit of joy in that. Stay away from those people. You want people that are going to be there to encourage you when you fail. You want to be there. You want those people in your life that are going to celebrate you when you do succeed. This job will show you who people are pretty quickly when you start having those successes. And so you want those people. Find your sideline buddy, find your partner, find your accountability partner, link arms and run with them. One of the fears that I've heard is, what if I can't cover my products? Y'all, I promise, if you start sharing, and you believe in what you're sharing, you will start making enough to cover your products. All you need is about 3 or 4 people to purchase from you. And that's not even asking people to be an ambassador. You have 3 or 4 people purchasing from you, you're going to make enough to cover your products. Just share, and it all goes back to believing in you. Guys, if you don't believe in you, no one else is going to believe in you. So when you share those products, people aren't going to believe in what you're telling them because you don't believe it yourself. Fear of freedom. I know this is something that I've struggled with. Just that time freedom, because my biggest fear when I first started staying home was, oh my goodness, what if I sit on the couch all day and I don't eat bonbons, but cookies or whatever, what if I don't manage my team right? What if I don't do this? What if I don't? Guys, don't focus on the negative. Start focusing on the positive. I have time freedom. This allows me to do Zooms during the day, to work with my team during the day, to have coaching calls during the day. Just focus on the positive. Don't focus on those fears. Make sure you're keeping it simple. Like we talked about last week, and I hope y'all did this, the 5-3-1 every day. If you didn't do that, and we even talked about doing 3-2-1, or if you had never even done 3-2-1, doing 1-1-1, reaching out to one new person every day, following up with one person every day, and training one person every day. Make sure that you are doing that daily. That's going to come back in and help pay for your products. That's going to eventually, that residual income is going to give you freedom with your time, with your job, with everything, with your finances. So make sure you're just keeping it simple. There's no reason that we should be inventing the wheel. We have so many videos. We have so much in our back office now. We have so many resources that we can use daily. So make sure you're doing that. And so now I'm going to go ahead and let Kevin talk, because I've been talking for way too long. So I'm going to let Kevin finish up some of these fears and some ways that we can work through them.
Okay. But yeah, I agree with you totally, Cheyenne, that, I think we just, we allow negativity, or people to pour in negativity into our life when we don't need that. And it really has no place in our life, period. And as a believer, or, and in this business, we just can't allow people to pour negativity into us. And I think we all too often allow that to happen almost, and we don't even notice it. So be cognizant of that and just watch and make sure you're not allowing people to pour negativity into your life. This is one thing that is what I'm going to talk about now is something that I have really been trying to work on, and something that I noticed about Cheyenne and I is, fear of getting out and meeting new people, and kind of widening our sphere of influence and people we know, because we get into a comfort zone and hang out with the same people all the time. It's either people from church, some of our friends, or it's Plexus people, and that's who we're around all the time. Well, how am I going to grow my network if I'm not out there meeting new people? So that is one thing I think we should all focus on. I mean, I have heard of network marketers, successful people in Plexus, and then even in other companies, that once they kind of tapped out in a certain area, they moved. And that's not for everybody. I don't see us moving from Rockwall, Texas anytime soon, but it's just a good example of people getting out of their comfort zone and making sure that they're meeting new people. So don't be afraid of that. Expand your network, focus on that some way every week, every day. Focus on expanding your network and figure out how you can do that. I know we talked about this a little bit before, and I said that we would touch on it again. So, but expand your network by joining Facebook groups. Let's say you're into knitting, or if you're into, like, I'm into mountain bikes and I'm into trucks, or let's say if I'm into hunting, or you're shopping. I'm sure that there's shopping, Facebook groups, or what are they called? What's the word I'm looking for? Anyway.
There's those like meetup groups, like you can do
yeah.
those.
Yeah, meetup group, forums, talk forums. That's what I was looking at, the word forum. So, there's a forum out there for everybody, everything that you're interested in. So tap into those, become a part of those. Don't be afraid to share that you're into Plexus and that you're a Plexus ambassador, and people will reach out to you. I've had people, I used to be into motocross, and I've had people that reached out to me that I haven't talked to in years, but because they knew I was still somewhat in tune with the motocross world, people reached out to me about that. So don't be afraid to expand your network and focus on that. Get out of your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to get out there and meet new people, join new groups. And you have to widen your sphere of influence and your groups that you're hanging out with. And so, plus you're going to meet some really cool new people that, can be lifelong friends that may not have anything to do with Plexus ever, but, friendships and relationships, and that's important in life, period. So don't be afraid to get out there and expand your network. Wear swag. I talk about this all the time. I have hats. I have shirts.
We have cups.
Yeah, we constantly drinking out of cups. I see many of you on this Zoom, drinking your water and things like that. And I see a lot of Plexus cups. That's awesome. All the time. Wear that stuff. Have it on out in public. Put a sticker on your car. Whatever. That will open up conversation with people. So don't be afraid to do that. And so make a new list. Make a new list of people, of groups, of places that you can expand your network, and constantly work on that list. And make sure that it's kind of ever evolving, and that it's a working list. So don't just write a list one time and walk away from it, but follow back up with your own list and keep on revisiting it daily or weekly, and just edit it constantly. If you've reached out to somebody a ton of times and they're just not into it, mark their name off, but put a new one, and constantly put new ones all the time. And because you'll meet new people all the time, but you may forget to put them on your list.
Can I say something?
Sure.
So last summer, it hit me. I had been telling people to make lists for 2 years. This was last summer, not this summer, last summer. Anyways, and that I didn't have a running list. And so I thought, oh my gosh, I've been telling people to do this. I don't have my own list. So I sat down and I was like, oh, I hope I can get to 100 people. Y'all, just by going through Facebook, I came up with over 200 people I had never talked to about Plexus, and I had been in Plexus for over 2 years at that point. I'm telling you, your warm market is not dried up. I promise you. Really think, and Kevin's going to give you some ideas in just a minute, but sit down and really think. And guys, my list is always changing because I'm adding new people all the time. So anyways, I'll get back to that. I'll let Kevin get back to it, but I just wanted you to know, like, if I can come up with 200 people and I've been in this business for 2 years, I promise you can come up with your list of 100 people. I promise you can.
It sounds so huge. It sounds like a daunting task of making a list of 100 people, but you can do it. I promise you. Anybody can do it between, we'll talk about it in a minute, but family and friends and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you can come up with a list of at least 100 people, and don't, like I said, keep that list with you. Keep it handy. So use memory joggers when you meet new people. Remember that person. Remember what that person said. Maybe liken their name, or assimilate their name with somebody famous, or an acronym or something like that, so you can remember that person. Or when you're right there with them, ask them, hey, do you mind if I take down your email? Send you an email. I'd like to stay in contact with you. Just something like that. Just make sure, and most everybody has a smartphone, and you're going to have a note section on there. Keep contacts on there. Put their contacts into your contact list. And so just keep up with those people, and just make it a daily habit of refreshing that list, staying in touch with that list, and changing it and altering it, and working with it. I'm bad, I'll be honest, and this is something I'm working on. I'm bad about making a list and then setting it aside. And I'll work on it for a day, and I'll set it aside, and I'll come back to it, but I don't keep it with me on a daily basis like I should. And I want to do that. I want to keep it with me. I want to keep it on my mind on a daily basis, but just focus on that. Also, the Frank's list. Many of you have probably heard of the Frank's list, but this is an awesome way to make a list and to keep you on track. Plexus is awesome with this, that they put it into the welcome pack, and they put it into your success kit. And so if you see in your success kit, there's this that said, let's get you started. On page, it's chapter 2, page 13 of your Let's Get You Started booklet in your success kit. There's a Frank's list. And what it is, Frank's is an acronym for how to build a list of people. And so it's really cool. I really appreciate that Plexus has put this together and put this for you. I mean, again, they've taken an awesome business model and put it down for each and every one of us to run our own business. But the Frank's list, if you haven't looked it over, it's your friends, relatives, acquaintances, your neighborhood, people that live right around you. I think we often forget about those. Kids connections, so people that through your kids, maybe through school or sports or whatever, and then service organizations. So it's a really cool way to kind of keep you on track of building your list, and just always changing, adding people, taking people off, whatever. So remember your Frank's list, and that's just a great way. And when you're working on that and focusing on it, it kind of takes the fear out of, because you have a focus, you have some drive behind it. So that really helps, and I want to get better at that. I think Shine and I, like I said, need to get out of our comfort zone, get out of hanging around with the same people all the time. We need to really expand our sphere of influence, if you will. So, yeah.
So in this Millionaire by Halftime book too, on page 80 and 81, if you have these, he talks about name association, and he gives you a name association tool to help you remember names, and then occupation association tool. So these are to help you think of new people. Guys, if making a list of 100 freaks you out, start with writing down five names, and then add to that. If you need to break it down and make it smaller so it doesn't paralyze you, do that. It's okay. I promise you'll end up with over 100 names if you'll just add a few every single day. If you're somebody that likes to go in there and knock it out, go for the 100 right up front. But make sure that you're doing, just make it into baby steps. If something seems like if you're very, fearful of it, break it down. Break it down just like that. What is it? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Break it down into small chunks. So the last thing I think we're going to talk about is the fear of success. And I just wanted to kind of tell you a little bit about my story. A lot of you have probably heard it, but I'm not going to go into a ton of detail. But basically, I went diamond in 11 months. And like I told you in the beginning of this Zoom today, I wasn't fearful of failure. I just wasn't. I would say I'm going to be emerald, next month, and I would be emerald. And hey, in 2 months I'll be sapphire. Y'all, it never crossed my mind to think any differently. But when I hit diamond, it was at convention, May of 2013 and 2014, sorry. And I was sitting in the audience, and I remember I was sitting next to Beth Anderson, and Sonia Dudley made the comment that anybody could be up on that stage. She couldn't believe that she got to be up there, and, couldn't believe that she had gotten to be that successful or whatever, and anybody could do it. And I remember I looked at Beth Anderson, and I said, absolutely not. And Beth looked at me, and she said, absolutely not. Neither one of us wanted to be up on that stage. And y'all, fear set in like I never before, because I remember later on Celeste saying, oh, you could totally be up on that stage. And I thought, y'all, public speaking is my worst fear. Like, really and truly, that's something that I'm having to try to overcome. So anyways, fear set in. The cool thing is Beth took that as a challenge for herself. And she started, I think that next year, she ended up doing Super Saturday. She's done Opportunity of a Lifetime events. But y'all, fear set in. Fear also set in whenever I had $1,000 car payment now, because I went out and got my new Lexus, that what if something happens? And then Kevin quit his job. I quit my job. What about insurance? I mean, y'all, this fear. What if? And y'all, I was in full momentum. Fear stopped me in my tracks. By August, I started going backwards. But it's funny because I was not fearful in the beginning, but the minute fear set in, it stopped me. And a lot of it was fear of being successful. Fear of what are people at church going to think if I'm making good money? What are people going to say about me? Are they thinking I'm just trying to make $1 off of them? All of this fear of success started really scaring me and setting in. So I kind of wondered if fear of success was even a real thing, but it is. And so I was reading this article on it today, and it said it's actually quite common, and it can cause us to lose out on a lot of opportunities in life. Y'all, I mean, the one good thing about that part of my journey is it made me reflect on myself and realize that I didn't have the belief that I needed to have. When I started building that belief in myself and in network marketing and in Plexus, that's when I started seeing that forward momentum again. But fear of success is common. And so sometimes we're too afraid to take risk and move forward in our goals. So either that's consciously or subconsciously, but either way, we get stuck in that one place. So if you're stuck in your business, really try to see what it is that's holding you back. Is it fear of failure, or is it fear of success? And I realized with my success, it's funny because it goes back to fear of failure. Now that I've had success, what if I start to fail? And so it all goes in together. And so I've really just had to work on me a lot. So really, guys, pour into yourself. I think that's one of the best ways to get over it. But here were some signs of fear of success. Do you feel guilty about any success you have? No matter how small or how big, because maybe your friends, your family, your coworkers haven't had the same success. That was one of my fears. Like, oh my goodness, I didn't want people to think bad of me because I had this success, You don't tell others about your accomplishments. I did that for a long time. Maybe you avoid or procrastinate on big projects, especially projects that could lead to recognition. So if Plex is putting out this contest this month kind of throws you in fear, maybe you're fearful of success. If you frequently compromise your own goals or agenda to avoid conflict in a group or even conflict within your family. You self-sabotage your work or dreams by convincing yourself that you're not good enough to achieve them. Guys, I can't tell you how many times that was me. Even though I'd made it to the top, I wanted to compare myself to everyone and everybody else's journey, and I never thought I was good enough. That's where those affirmations come back in. I think, it really helps with the self-sabotage. If you haven't read the book, What to Say When You Talk to Yourself, and you are, trying to work through self-sabotage, guys, get it. It is a great book. Sonia Dudley and Helen McFadden, they have YouTube videos that go along with, I think it's like 3 chapters at a time, and they kind of walk you through the book. It's the Good Book Study. Guys, get that book. Go through that study. It's really, really good. It really changed the way I talk to myself. And maybe you feel subconsciously that you don't deserve to enjoy success in your life. I don't know if I ever felt like I didn't deserve it, but I did kind of feel like, oh my goodness, as a believer, am I supposed to have this success? Or is this something that I'm making on my own outside of the Lord? But I've also seen how the Lord has used this success for his glory. So, be in prayer about that for sure. And then the last one says, you believe that if you do achieve success, you won't be able to sustain it. Eventually you'll fail and end up back in a worse place than when you started. So you think, why bother? That truly went through my head that summer of, oh my goodness, what if I fail? What if I have to go back to teaching? What if? Guys, my points did go backwards. I did lose Diamond for a month and got it back. But guys, I didn't die. I'm still here. And I just had to, persevere and push through. And it really, in turn, helped me grow. I know that, is it Alfred Einstein? Is he the one who had all the failures?
Mm-hmm.
What's his name?
Albert.
Albert.
I was like, Alfred.
I was like, Alfred? Who's Alfred? That doesn't sound right. Albert Einstein. He had a bunch of failures, but he called them just steps to success. So anyways, so just really, guys, if there is a failure, don't be afraid of it, because most of the time that's when we grow the most, is during that time. So, and don't fear success either. Like I said, I hit success. I did go backwards, and then I went forward again. But I'm still here. I'm still talking. I'm still laughing. And that's when I found that my true joy comes from the Lord and not from anything else. So.
And Alfred Einstein appreciates that. So,
Albert. I knew that wasn't right. My mind wasn't thinking.
Alfred's probably pretty smart too.
Be quiet.
So,
anyways,
I'm going to turn it over to Angie and let her give you your challenges for the week.
Yeah, thank y'all so much. That was so good. And thank you for those. I like the article that you were talking about, Cheyenne. Someone in here asked if you could send us the link. So if you wanted to send it to me, then I can post it under the recorded call for that. And that's, I never even thought about like the fear of being successful, but it's so true. And that, it's definitely a real fear that people have. And so for this week, there's a couple of things, and I added like 2 things on while we were doing this. I thought of some more things. So first of all, go ahead.
Sorry, it was Thomas Edison. It wasn't Albert Einstein. It was Thomas Edison. Alfred, it wasn't Albert, and it was Thomas Edison, and it was with a light bulb. Thank you, Maureen.
Hey, you did a great job.
Hey, I knew I'd heard something, right?
It was somebody smarter than we are. That's all we know.
When you know what, now at this point, and I'm sure you can agree with this, Cheyenne. I love when I mess up, because to me, I'm like, it's like, oh my gosh, if a Diamond Ambassador can mess up, then it's totally okay if I mess up, So just because we hit a certain level doesn't mean that, we all still fail. And I still have constant fear of, of different things throughout the business. And I definitely think as you hit each level, you start facing all of these different fears. And just because we're diamond does not mean that we have it together at all.
Hey, if you're ever worried about that, need somebody to hang out with that'll make you feel better about yourself, come hang out with me. I'm doing stuff like that all the time. So
me too. So this week, what I want y'all to do is go for no's. Let's go for about 10 no's. And that is people actually responding back to you and telling you no, like straight up no. So message people like crazy until they tell you no. And every time you get a no, check it off. Y'all, no's are great things because that means that you are getting even closer to a yes. So go for no's and then update your list. And what I'm saying is when I tell people to update their list, or when about every 3 to 5 months, I trash my list and I start a complete new list. I go back through, and maybe you do yours a little bit differently, but this is just kind of the way that I do mine. I start from scratch again. And it is amazing when I go back through there again, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have never reached out to this person. Or I reached out to that person in March of 2014 when I first started and I never messaged them again. Like, you will be surprised at how many people, even no matter how long you've been doing this, how many people that maybe you have only reached out to once are not even reached out to at all. So update your list, create a new list, and then expand your network. And I will share this a little bit. When most of you know that I moved from Texas to Florida, and when I moved, y'all, it was very challenging, and the devil really tried to mess with me big time in a lot of different areas. But I really had to be extremely intentional about kind of two things. The one thing that I needed to be intentional about was affirmations and building belief in myself. So I really want to challenge you, y'all, at least 6 days a week, or if not every day, get 3 affirmations that you want to tell yourself. Put it on your mirror and tell yourself that every single morning. Put it on a little sticky thing. Put it in your car. But I cannot tell you how important it is to build that belief. And it may sound stupid, to tell yourself, I am a diamond ambassador. People want to hear what I have to say. I mean, those are some of the things that I tell myself every day. I am valued. I am cherished. Whatever it is that you are struggling with, tell yourself those things every single day. And it may sound silly, but I'm telling you, it will completely change your life. I mean, at least it has for me. So, but also, that was something that I struggled with because I was separated from everybody that I know except for my, direct family. And I kind of struggled with a really big self-doubt when I moved here. And I had to be intentional about expanding my network. I had to be intentional about going to mom's play dates that I necessarily maybe didn't want to go to, joining new groups, volunteering with my daughter's school, maybe hanging out a little extra early at the carpool because all the other moms would be there and I would be talking to them. I was intentional about being around other people. Even that if I did not feel like it, I had to force myself to be intentional. I am extremely intentional. I mean, I have one on now. I wear Plexus swag. I'm pretty sure that everyone thinks I have 5 shirts because I wear them. I rotate them out all during the week. In fact, it's time for my winter Plexus wardrobe. But during the week, during the school weeks, when I'm out and about and doing things, I wear Plexus swag everywhere. I am intentional. You know what? My son has been in his school since the beginning of the year. And just last week, I had someone say, what is this Plexus stuff you wear? Is that some new workout gear or something? Because I wear my Plexus top with my wind shorts, and tennis shoes, I'm going to go work out. And I was like, oh, no, let me tell you. And so it started this whole conversation. And I have 3 people out of wearing that shirt and 1 person asking that I'm bringing samples to. So being intentional about expanding your network and getting out there, wearing your Plexus swag. But the one thing that I want you to be intentional about this week is add at least 10 new friends to Facebook. Whether that be you go to your husband's Facebook, your sister's Facebook, your whatever's Facebook, and you find people that you know that you're not friends with, and you add them to your Facebook, or be intentional about meeting new people and adding them. Like, I was just at Nordstrom's the other day, and they had like this dry bar event, which was so fun. But I was like, oh my gosh, I love the dry bar. They don't have it in Florida yet. I'm so excited. And then I said, can I take a selfie with you and tag you on Facebook? What's your Facebook? And so there, I have a brand new person added to my Facebook. So whether it be, hey, our kids really like to play with each other, I always ask people like, hey, are you on Facebook? Let me add you on Facebook. But let me share something with that about adding people on Facebook. I just shared this on my my team page the other day. So while we are intentional about adding people on Facebook, make sure that you are also intentional and not thinking, okay, there is a mom that I added on Facebook over a year ago. And even though I added her, I just assumed that, like, okay, this is what I was thinking. Okay, I'm going to add her on Facebook, and she's going to start seeing my Plexus post, and she's going to ask me a question, because, I mean, why wouldn't you ask me a question when you see all this stuff on Facebook? And, y'all, she never did. And I had this fear of, like, mentioning it to her, and I don't even know why. Like, I'm a Diamond Ambassador. I have plenty of success to back it up, you know, with my financial and with my health, you know, and family's health testimony. Like, why would it make me sick to my stomach to even mention Plexus to her? But it had dawned on me, like, Angie, you are missing the boat here. Here is somebody that works out all the time, who is a stay-at-home mom, who lives in your neighborhood, and you haven't come out. Yes, you've added her on Facebook, but maybe she doesn't look at Facebook. And so I actually invited her to a meeting that we're having. She didn't show up, but now it was spurred a whole conversation about Plexus. So don't just assume. Now, I don't ever recommend friending someone brand new on Facebook and hitting them up for Plexus. No, we are in the business of building relationships. You need to be intentional about building relationships. So yes, add them to Facebook. Let them see your post. Maybe they're not going to be their post. But the second thing is, be intentional about building a relationship with them, and do not add them on Facebook and wait a year to share Plexus with them. Maybe wait, you know, a month until you've kind of like built that up or something like that. But we want to make sure that, I mean, and I tell people, like, I mean, no pressure if you don't want to do this. My friendship is so much more important to me than you doing Plexus with me. So you really want to make sure that you are sharing and not selling. So the 3 things I kind of like went off. Updated list. Go for at least 10 no's between now and next Tuesday. And then expand your network. Add 10 new friends on Facebook. Whether that be people when you're out and about and you add, or people that are actually, you know, you go through your husbands or moms or sisters Facebook list and find people that you know as well. So that is all that I have. Do y'all have anything else today?
I think that's all. Obviously, my brain's not working too well.
I know, I'm a little scattered. I have a sick boy all week, and so
I know I'm on allergy medicine. I think it makes me a little loopy. So.
Yes. Oh, well, it definitely makes me loopy, allergy medicine. So I really appreciate all of you listening and being a part of this series. If there is, I think we have next week's topic kind of open. So if there is something that you would like to know about, there's something that you have a fear that you would like us to share on, please let us know. what that is, and so that we can kind of put that together. Or if you want to make it an open thing and kind of share your successes that you've had throughout this series. Y'all, I just want you to know, like, I mean, Cheyenne and I are nobody special. I mean, we are special with the Lord. And, you know, Kevin, we're not anyone special. I mean, if we can get to diamond, like, I'm just saying, like, anyone can do this. So face your fear, step out of your comfort zone, and know that this opportunity is possible for anyone. You just have to be willing to step out and face your fear. So we love you. We hope that you all have a great week, and go Flexus.
Bye, guys.